Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We went through thousands of kitesurfing related patents and compiled a list of the 10 weirdest inventions. While some are beyond ridiculous, others may be truly revolutionary. So let's get started. Number 1, LEI deflation safety system. Imagine you're on a 16-meter kite and you get hit by a squall of over 40 knots. You pull safety, but the kite is still pulling you quite a bit, so it holds its shape. What if there was a way to deflate the kite mid-air? That's exactly what a patent by Ocean Rodeo suggests. The safety line is connected to a drain control line across the leading edge. When the safety is activated and given sufficient pull on a drain control line, the deflator valve would open and deflate the kite. Alternatively, a second drain safety line can be used to manually deflate the kite. As the kite deflates, the drain line further compresses the kite to decrease its pull. According to the patent, advantages of this invention would include increased safety with self-launching and self-landing, wind squalls, and a safer approach to rescue a kite as it's deflated versus inflated. As it currently stands, the patent is withdrawn and we are not aware of any manufacturer having such a system on the market, so we decided to try our own version. What we've done here is attach a bungee cord to the fifth line. As you can see, that bungee cord is attached to the deflate valve, so when you release the safety, it'll pop open, because this is a little bit shorter. Let's do it! Well, that was a fail. In order to get the shot we want, we have to cheat. The valve is about halfway open. 3, 2, and 1. Yeah. So we thought that idea would be pretty simple to execute, but unfortunately we weren't able to get enough tension on the safety line to really make it happen. We got it on the 4th try after really pulling the line. Number 2, a kite bar with display. This consists of at least one display built into the kitesurfing bar and at least one measuring device that the display is connected to. According to the inventor, such a bar would be able to display the map of your kiting area and your relative position, current and average speed of the kiter, distance traveled, a jumping height, or graphic wind direction and speed, weather forecast, and more. The patent is currently active and expires in 2027, and in our view, it's just a matter of time before a kite manufacturer comes up with a smart bar. But before they do, we had to attempt one of our own. As you can see, we created our own kite bar with display using an old cell phone that's connected to a wind meter that we've attached up to our bridles. So we're getting a real-time feed of what the wind is exactly. So obviously we're not going to take this on the water because if we crash, then we may risk either losing or damaging either the cell phone or the wind meter or both. But who knows, maybe someday we'll all be riding with wind meters or other display screens on our bars. Number 3, illumination system for kiteboarding kite. Inventor Michael Theobald must really like night kiting as he designed quite a sophisticated illumination system that senses the position of the kiter with respect to the rider and then adjusts a beam of light to the rider's path. Additionally, his system would be able to illuminate various areas next to the rider as well as the rider himself. The way it works is that there's a waterproof housing attached to an inflatable kite, which within there's a mini computer which analyzes data from various sensors and then adjusts the direction of the light beam while avoiding directly shining light into the kiter's eyes. Unfortunately, it appears that the project has been abandoned, so for now we'll continue to rely on friends pointing the flashlight manually. Number 4, split depower control bar. Presently, every kite control system on the market involves a depower line passing through the middle of the bar. This means that if you wanted to control the kite with one hand, you would have to place it next to the depower line. A patent from Krzysztof Czarnecki claims to offer a better solution by controlling a kite by splitting the depower line in two and leaving the middle section of the bar open to be steered by one hand. The inventor suggested that with his bar design, it is easier to control the kite with one hand. But is that true? We decided to find out.
Excuse me, sir. Can I touch that thing? What is that? Oh, sorry. I don't know what to say. You got me speechless. It's a great idea, is what I'm going to say.
So we made our own version of a split depower control bar. It's a little bit rough given that we did it in such a short period of time, but we wanted to see how easy it is to control the kite with one hand. So Kent, tell us.
Much easier.
Much easier?
Because there's nothing in your way, yeah. And it still works.
All right, there you have it.
Yeah.
Do you want to try it on water?
Not a chance.
Can't say I blame you for that.
Yeah. The reason why? if you're in trouble and you have to loop the kite, you can't loop your kite with this.
Yeah.
So really, safety is the number one thing. This is not a safe bar.
All right, personally, I don't find it that easy to steer with just one hand. Going to the right, for me, isn't so hard, but if I want to steer the kite back to the left, I really have to put a lot of effort into it. So yeah, it's a no for me.
Number 5, drone boarding system with mechanical flight control. This one is actually pretty cool as it's basically a drone replacing your kite while maintaining the best parts of kitesurfing. The coolest part of this invention is that you don't need any wind and that you can ride in places that were previously impossible. Traditional drone boarding has 2 issues though. The first one is that the rider has no control of the drone as the drone is controlled by a pilot via a remote, meaning you, the rider, are just going for a ride. The second problem is that the drone battery is quickly depleted. Having more batteries on the drone increases its weight, meaning the power consumption is higher, so a better solution is needed. A patent by David Edward Henry solves these 2 issues by firstly introducing a kitesurfing style control bar to the drone, meaning the rider now has full control of the drone. Secondly, the power issue is solved by having batteries built into the harness of the rider and delivering power to the drone via a conductive wire. While the patent is still pending, the concept seems to be plausible and we believe it has the potential to be revolutionary.
Of course, this design will be quite difficult to replicate, so for now, I'm gonna stick to walking my drone.
Number 6, adjustable area kite. Wind speeds vary, meaning you'll need several kites for various wind ranges. For the past 2 decades, companies have attempted to make a one kite quiver with varying success. While some riders seem to have multiple kites, for some it can be quite expensive to cover the full range with several kites. Now comes a patent from Clayton Morris which brings back the idea of a one kite quiver based on an adjustable area kite. His patent explores various ways that you can add or remove various sections of a kite canopy based on the wind range. His drawings include various ideas such as removing wingtip segments and collapsing leading edge as well as removing part of the trailing edge. While it's easy to pinpoint many issues with Clayton's idea of having removable sections of a kite, he does a remarkable job in the patent description of describing possible solutions such as variable length struts, folding wingtips, and the use of zippers. While it is hard to imagine that this sort of kite would ever go mainstream, in our view, this sort of kite design might be useful for expedition kiting when you can only bring so much gear with you. Believe it or not, the concept of an adaptable airfoil is not new and has been explored as early as 2002 by Paul Thomas, who proposed 7 different approaches to change the area of a kite.
This feels so wrong. Nick, don't hate us. Halfway there. All right, so we turned this 8-meter kite into a 7-meter kite. And just so you know, this kite was going to go to the garbage. This was donated to us by a friend, so please don't do this at home.
Try this kite.
All right, so I'm flying the kite right now, and it actually flies all right. Way better than I was expecting it to. Considering it's pretty light wind, you do have to work the kite quite a bit. But hey, it's staying in the air.
Number 7, rotatable bindings. Fixed straps on a twin tip board are pretty much the standard right now, but they have one big disadvantage to them. This is that the foot stance for both directions is the same. While riders can twist hips and bend knees unevenly to compensate, it results in 2 problems. In the short term, it's hard to go one direction for a long period of time due to increased discomfort, and in the long term, the knee joints can get damaged. One solution is to keep your straps loose so your feet can have some wiggle room, and another is to use rotatable bindings. Of course, you can go strapless on a surfboard or a foil board, but not on a twin tip. We found 2 patents in the database that involve rotatable bindings. The first patent design is by Anton Enzerink, involves rotating center sections built directly into either the kiteboard or a surfboard. A second patent design by Jose Zarek and Matthew Jones includes a platform that is added to either types of board, which includes the straps and the rotation mechanism. Both patents have a locking mechanism built in, meaning that you can rotate the bindings to a desired position and they can be locked or unlocked in place while riding.
Now, obviously you don't want completely freely revolving bindings on your board, as that would be unrideable. Just think of when you lose a screw on your binding right now. Now, with that being said, I do think it's a pretty neat idea, and maybe someday we'll be able to try an adaptable board like that.
Number 8, life vest with integrated audio device and method of use. This one is kind of silly, but someone back in 2005 tried to patent a life jacket which has a pocket to retain an audio playback device. It's silly because if you have the life jacket with a pocket and you put a waterproof speaker into it, it's an infringement of the patent. In fact, our friend Sasha would have been sued by now as he listens to music while kiting, as he has a waterproof speaker in his life jacket pocket. All in all, the patent was never approved for obvious reasons.
Here's a new way of holding your kite when you go for a long walk. Thinking of patenting it.
Number 9, kitesurfing training machine. Remember during the lockdown, everyone was posting videos of kiting at home or in their backyards. Well, as a matter of fact, Yuri and I attempted the same thing. We just never published it as it's pretty embarrassing. From our experience, it's actually fairly hard to make a proper kitesurfing simulator due to having to imitate the bar lift component. But one German inventor did just that, as he used multiple pulleys and a giant spring, so when the trainee pulls the bar in, he or she would be lifted up in the air. The obvious benefit of such a machine would be to be able to practice your old school tricks in the comfort of your apartment or backyard when you don't have access to water or any wind. Number 10, twin tip hydrofoil. This patent actually goes back all the way to 2006 and consists of a foil piece connected to either a wakeboard or a kiteboard. The obvious advantage of a hydrofoil unit attached to a twin tip would be increased speed and elevation above the water. A potential disadvantage would be decreased control, but that's just my thoughts, as it's hard to say without actually trying it. So let's go do it.
All right, so we just made our own version with a lot of duct tape here. As you can see, our foil is securely attached to our twin tip board, and I'm gonna go give it a shot. Clearly it didn't work because there's just way too much drag from the duct tape. But all jokes aside, when we were doing our research, we actually found some twin tip hydrofoils on the market.
Firstly, 41 Kitesurfing has developed a portable hydrofin which can be retrofitted to your existing kiteboard. There are 3 hydrofins in total, with the middle one creating lift and the rear one used for stability. Furthermore, a few years ago, some companies released more traditionally looking twin tip foils, but it doesn't look like they really took off. Personally, I think that the original hydrofoil in its current form was a revolutionary breakthrough. With that said, the combination of a twin tip board and a foil may be a bit of a stretch. What do you guys think? While some of these patents may appear a bit out there, think about the fact that Duotone's click bar was originally patented in 2010 by Boards & More, but was only released mid-2016. The point being here that many of the patents we talked about in this video are relatively new, and they could still go to market in the years to come. All right guys, there you have it. Make sure to let us know in the comments below which invention you find most interesting or the one that you'd like to see come to market first. As always, make sure to like, leave a comment, subscribe, and check out our Patreon page for more. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.